So here we go on to Sonic and Knuckles. Mushroom Hill Zone here is the first level of Sonic and Knuckles, which means I'm gonna go ahead and take it upon myself here to be super annoying and read from the Sonic and Knuckles manual now. Lock on for action! Sonic and Knuckles is a revolutionary new kind of game. It's the first game cartridge ever that you can play by itself or lock on with other Sonic game cartridges. The very first DLC, everybody. Nah, no, expansion packs existed before this. Play this game by itself to continue Sonic's quest to save Floating Island and defeat the rotten Dr. Robotnik through fantastic new zones. As Sonic, you'll battle for the Chaos Emeralds. As Knuckles, you'll defend the island's secrets. There's way more! Lock on Sonic 3 with Sonic and Knuckles cartridges to create a huge 34 meg Sonic epic. This game's only 34 megabytes? Jesus. Sonic 3 and Knuckles has more gameplay options in one-player mode. New secrets waits to be found, and now you've got 14 emeralds to rescue. Not really how that works. Play as Knuckles and discover new routes. More yet, lock on Sonic 2 to Sonic and Knuckles cartridge to experience a totally new Sonic 2 adventure as Knuckles with all his signature moves. So start zooming. Dr. Eggman's Death Egg, Dr. Robotnik's Death Egg is about to launch. Important, the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge is designed to lock on with the Sonic 3 or Sonic 2 cartridges. It will not work with non-Sonic cartridges. If you lock on Sonic 1 to the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge, you'll just play an infinite number of blue orb bonus stages. Save Floating Island. The last time Sonic and Robotnik went head-to-head, Sonic blasted Robotnik's Death Egg to smithereens. Yeah, as you saw, the ending of the Sonic 3 had the Death Egg blow up. But then, you pop in Sonic and Knuckles, and the first thing you see on that title screen is the Death Egg crash landing into a mountain. So, the Death Egg getting blown up was totally retconned. So if you go from Sonic 3 and see it get blown up, and then pop in Sonic and Knuckles, it's still there, and you're like, what the fuck? Having the seamless transition with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where you go immediately into, from the ending of Sonic 3 to the beginning of Sonic and Knuckles, it doesn't blow up, it just crash lands, and you don't get to see, the title screen of Sonic and Knuckles, which is a little bit of a shame, because that actually shows you it landing. But then here they were retconning it in the manual for Sonic and Knuckles by saying it was blown to smithereens. But apparently there's another Death Egg that just crash landed also on a different part of the island? Sonic knows that many emeralds, including the Master Emerald, are hidden somewhere on Floating Island. He bets this Knuckles character knows where they are. Sonic can't let Robotnik get his hands on the Master Emerald. He'd have Death Egg fuel forever, and Floating Island would be destroyed. So this is the first game. So finally they acknowledge the Master Emerald. The manual for Sonic 3, they hadn't come up with that yet, I guess? Now Sonic's got two problems. How to protect the Master Emerald, and how to keep Knuckles off his back. He'll have to deal with that wild echidna right away. Knuckles has problems too. As guardian of Floating Island and all the emeralds. Again, they're trying to act like the Chaos Emeralds are from Angel Island. They're not. These are the same emeralds that Sonic collected in Sonic 2, and Knuckles stole them. I mean, they are from Angel Island, but not in the way you might think, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. And Knuckles has problems too. As guardian of Floating Island and all the emeralds, he's really just the guardian of the Master Emerald, though, because the Chaos Emeralds are just in the regular place that Sonic lives. Knuckles has a mission to wage war on all invaders. Whoever threw that bomb is in deep trouble. That's referencing the start of Knuckles' campaign, which I'll talk about later. Knuckles is ready with tricks, traps, and bare-fisted attacks to keep Floating Island safe. Sonic's not taking any chances. Chances? Neither is Knuckles, but while they're going the rounds with each other, who's stopping Dr. Robotnik? Could this be the end of Floating Island? These fucking American manuals are terrible. So, this is the reason I don't think it's worth talking about Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles as two separate games. A, they were designed as one game and got split in half because of shady, like business practices. Like, people, like, that's another thing that annoys me about people who say, like, Sonic hasn't been good since the Genesis. The Sonic Genesis games kind of pioneered, like, shoddy business practices. People complain about games being released in unfinished states and games, like, selling DLC that was obviously part of the main game and just ripped out for, like, extra money. This was literally the first game that did that. They literally shoved half of this game out the door. Sonic 3 was only 6 zones. That's less than half as many as fucking Sonic 2 had. And then Sonic and Knuckles also has like 6 zones, and put them together, that's kind of a lot, but separately, like, that's barely any game. Look at how short that is. Look at how short this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels. And yeah, they're big levels and the presentation's really nice, but that's still really fucking short. Like, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is just Sonic 3. That's the way the game was always intended to be played. However, I do think the one thing that Sonic and Knuckles is, like, justified as its own game is Knuckles' campaign. Because when you play as Knuckles in Sonic 3, he just starts at Angel Island Zone 1, and there's not really any setup or context or justification for it. In Sonic and Knuckles, he actually does have a story that doesn't make sense if you're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It only gets its setup in Sonic and Knuckles, but I'll get to that when I get to it. We're doing Mushroom Hill Zone. And again, this is the first level of Sonic and Knuckles, but because we're coming here directly from the ending of Sonic 3, with a glitched out Tails, who's for some reason, like, rooted behind us, that's where he should be. This is where he should be, but no. Anyway, we have this interesting little intro where Tails flies us into Mushroom Hill Zone from the launch pad. We go forward here and we get this extra scene where you see Knuckles coming out of some hidey hole. Huh. Where did he come from down there? What is this? Oh, and this is why it's really worth it to get Supersonic before getting to Mushroom Hill Zone. Because since this is the start of a new Sonic game, this is also the beginning of 7 extra emeralds. And this is an extra one added just for context. Here's what you get. What the heck? And look, look at Sonic look up. The Chaos Emeralds are reacting. Look at how small they are here. And boom. They turn into giant super emeralds. So this is what I talk about when I say Sonic 3 has a story. That's the Master Emerald up there. That is what his Knuckles is guarding. That is the thing that Robotnik said they're here to steal the Master Emerald. And you can see why Knuckles would believe that, because we have the Chaos Emeralds. We must be after the Master Emerald, right? And the Master Emerald is the power source that keeps Angel Island floating. The reason it crashed is because the Death Egg fell into it. Twice. So we come in here, and for some reason, the Chaos Emeralds reacted to the presence of the Master Emerald and changed from the 6-sided gem shape that they were previously and became these giant, like, emerald shapes. Now these are the Super Emeralds, and the new special stages are you jump on the emerald, go to a special stage. This is gonna be short, so... Hopefully I don't screw it up, though, because these are a little bit trickier. They're shorter, but they have gimmicks to them. Oop. There we go. And now you get the Super Emerald. I like that they went through the trouble of actually making a graphic in 3D for it like that. So the Chaos Emeralds have been morphed into the Super Emeralds, but they're in a dormant state, and you need to do the special stage in order to activate them as a proper Super Emerald. Glowy, glowy. And then you do that with all 7, and then right now we can't turn into Supersonic because we don't have the Chaos Emeralds anymore. They're all in the Master Emerald Shrine. We won't be able to turn into Supersonic again until we activate all the 7 Emeralds. Which I won't be doing because, once again, I have exceeding amounts of difficulty finding all the special stages. I really miss in Sonic 2 where you just hit a checkpoint and go to the Emerald stage. In this, it is so fucking rough for me to find them all hidden around the locations. Oh, Tails. Because his actions vary yours. Like, this game isn't about Tails, because the second game was about Tails, but it still contributes to his development as a character. Because, again, okay, here, see, look, we can't turn into Supersonic anymore, because we don't have the Chaos Emeralds. I have 50 rings, but we have lost the capability to turn into Supersonic. If you want to keep that capability, I think you can just not go into that special stage and see the Master Emerald, and you won't lose the Chaos Emeralds, but you'll never get the Super Emeralds. So you can't turn into Supersonic anymore. Damn. But this game still contributes to Tails' development because in this game, Tails is a proper sidekick now. He's properly, like the dynamic duo has been established. He's not just some tag-along kid who's following Sonic around and being tolerated. Like, Sonic isn't just letting him follow along. They're actually, like, proper buddies now. And you can see that in the way... in the way his, like, Tails' interactions have evolved in this game's mechanics. Because in the old games, in Sonic 2... I might as well get one. Again, I am not gonna get all of these. The way it worked in Sonic 2 was the entire reason Tails can fly was a convenience of gameplay, because they wanted Tails to be your companion throughout the entire game, but how do you justify him, like, if you outrun him, which is the entire point because you're Sonic, how do you justify him being able to catch up? How do you justify him still being present if you, like, lose track of him, if you leave him behind, as is very common? Like, you tend to lose Tails in the shuffle as you progress through a stage. That's just going to happen, and they knew that. So they said, okay, how do you justify Tails showing up? You just have him teleport into place? Like, oh, he's just there now? Or what? They had very simplistic technology to work with here, so the idea of giving him 2 tails so that he could fly was the solution to that question, because this way they could have Tails fly in from off-screen. Instead of him teleporting next to you and breaking immersion, possibly, Tails flies in and rejoins you. That's the purpose behind that aspect to his character in the first place. So in that game, it was just a convenience feature to justify Tails being able to keep up with Sonic. Which symbolized how in that game, he was just a fanboy following along. He didn't really, like, he sometimes got hits in, but he didn't really do anything. Like, he didn't work together until the very end, where he flew the tornado, and, like, that was the moment that finalized their relationship. But you know what I mean? Like, he couldn't, like, act actively utilize his abilities. He was just using those to keep up with Sonic. Now, in this game, you have this whole system where Tails can fly and carry Sonic around. Again, you can't necessarily do it with computer-controlled Tails, because the computer just can't handle it. But if you have a second controller and you're playing this, like, with your little sibling or something, and you give the controller to him, they can actually play as Tails. Damn. And there's all these, which is like such a thing. That was a thing in the first game too. I'm gonna lose those rings now. That was sort of a thing in the first game too, but you couldn't help out. He would just be able to get extra hits. But in this game, your little sibling playing as Tails, he can jump and start flying around, and then you can grab... Watch this, I love this scene. No, grab onto the grass! Ah, it's great. And then the seasons change. Oh, this level kicks ass. And you can grab onto his hands, and Tails can fly you around. And then there was that boss in Marble Hill Zone, which used that mechanic during the boss fight. Like, Tails is actively being used and contributing to the adventure. He's not just flying to keep up and tagging around with Sonic, he's helping out. The dynamic duo is in play. So, like, this game doesn't necessarily contribute to Tails' development, but it does... Man, I am getting more of these than I've ever gotten previously. But it does, like, it maintains the relationship. And again, that's entirely in terms of gameplay. My conveyance. There's no explicit narrative to, like, Tails and Sonic's relationship. That's just an evolution of his abilities completely by a factor of gameplay. Like, you go from Sonic 2, where he's just there and flying around in order to, like, spawn in from off-screen, to this, where there's an entire boss fight that is designed around Tails flying around and carrying you in order to fight, which you would simply not... That boss fight is not possible without Tails. Even if you're playing as just Sonic without Tails, Tails will show up for that boss fight, because that is how much Sonic needs him. He needs his little buddy. So he's gone from Tagalong Kid to Little Buddy, but he's still, you know, the sidekick. He is the boy wonder at this point in the timeline. I wonder if I'll... No, definitely not, because after this... Like, you noticed how after I finally got the 7th Chaos Emerald, I just did not find any new rings. And that was not for, like, want of avoiding them. That was just because I just cannot find these fucking things through normal gameplay. I always have to cheese it. That's why I was using the map so extensively, because I really wanted to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds for that scene, where they pop out and become the Super Emeralds. Because if you get to that point without all 7 Chaos Emeralds, only the Chaos Emeralds you've collected will pop out. Wow! Only the... Like, if you've only collected 4 Chaos Emeralds, because that's how many I collected in that first level, only the 4 Chaos Emeralds you collected will pop out. And then even if you get all 4, like I've just in Mushroom Hill Zone, I'm getting 4 Super Emeralds. Even if you super all those emeralds out, you're still screwed. You can't become Supersonic or anything, because you've only got 4 emeralds, and the special emerald, the Super Emerald zones here in Sonic and Knuckles, you can't collect new Chaos Emeralds. You can only power... If you're doing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you can't collect... Fuck. You can't collect new Chaos Emeralds. You can only power up the ones you have into Super Emeralds. Which is why, usually what I end up doing is I have to beat fucking whole game, and then go back to Angel Island Zone and collect the Chaos Emeralds I don't have via save scumming and resetting the game and doing the level select, and then come here to Mushroom Hill Zone. That's what I did on the other profile, because once you get the level select, you can just go back to whichever level you want. You know what'll help? Let's get a shield. Oh wait, never mind. This one doesn't have but this one's pure rings. So I would end up save scumming it and just using the level select to go to the first levels, which are the easiest ones to find the secret stages in, until I would have all the Hyper Emeralds. Look at Sonic's face like, who does he think he's kidding? Fuck you, Eggman. I love this boss fight. Any Sonic boss fight that's a running boss is fun, because that's really conducive to Sonic's abilities. I mean, he's the fastest thing alive. Tails got the final hit. Good job, buddy. And then I love this ending. Crash! Ah, haha, loser. So, Eggman was the one causing the bad weather. Squirrels, look them go. Look them jumping around. And again, I very much appreciate how in this game, you pop the animal capsule and they have a fun little pose. I'm like, yeah, we did it, instead of just jumping around like idiots, like in Sonic 2. Again, you get the stage transitions. Now we're not just on Flying Battery. I love how Tails just flies up onto Flying Battery. That's great. So is this supposed to be the airship that was dropping bombs on us at the end of Angel Island Zone? Because it's a different color. Maybe Eggman gave it a paint job in between games there. So this stage is awesome. This is like everyone's favorite stage from this game, I think. From Sonic and Knuckles here. Because this is the stage that they're bringing the stage back for Sonic Mania, which is pretty cool. And I can see why, like, this stage kicks ass. You want me to break down the math for that on you? On why? Why does the stage kick ass? For one thing, airships kick ass. For another thing, Sonic games kick ass. Have an airship in your Sonic game. What was everyone's favorite stage from Sonic? What was that best stage from Sonic 2? The Sky Fortress one? Shit. I'm trying to make this statement, I forget what it's fucking called. The one after the, flying the plane level, you know? Dun 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 dun. That one? Like, it's basically an actual level of that nature. Well, you're inside this kick-ass fucking airship, and it's like, yeah. Sonic and Knuckles actually, I think, has better level design than Sonic 3 did, because they play around with the formula a little bit in this one. Like you just saw right there, there was a animal capsule, which you're trained to want to jump on at the end of levels. Like the whole series has trained you to jump on this thing. You jump on that one, and enemies pop out and fucking probably get a free hit on you, because you're not expecting that. And there's a couple other instances in Sonic and Knuckles where they kind of get the drop on you, using fun little tricks like that. Ah, son of a bitch. And again, we have the dichotomy of levels. It's been reset again since we're in a new game, but Mushroom Hill Zone, oh my god! Mushroom Hill Zone was the nature zone. This obviously is the industrial zone. This is Eggman's flying fortress. And then you'll see what happens over there. This game, more than like Sonic 2 was about Tails, basically, this game is much more explicitly about Knuckles, especially Sonic and Knuckles. Like, Sonic 3 introduces him as a character, as an antagonist. Sonic and Knuckles... does a bit more with his character. For one thing, there's the conclusion to the story here, and for another thing, Knuckles is actually playable in this one. And he gets his own little, like, storyline. Like, Tails you can play as, he just does, like, the same level Sonic did. I mean, Knuckles goes through the same levels too, but, like, there's no real context to it. Tails doesn't even get the intro cutscene at the beginning of Sonic 3, where they fly to Angel Island on the tornado, and he pops over as Super Sonic and encounters Knuckles. Tails just starts out standing there already. Again, playing with the formula here, you're trained, let's jump on this. Oh shit, it's the mini-boss. And again, the fact, like, you're not really supposed to look at Sonic and 3 and Sonic and Knuckles as two separate games. This is one game split into two parts. Because Sonic and Knuckles just uses the exact same formula of Act 1. It still had animals in it though, that's funny. Act 1 ends with a mini-boss, and then you transition right into... I mean, it's so blatantly just the exact same game ripped in half. It's actually kind of scumbaggy when you think about it, but no one does think about it because it's a Super Dungeons game, which are the only good Sonic games. Dipshits. Tails just, like, shows up completely context devoid and goes through the same levels. Knuckles in Sonic and Knuckles, not Sonic 3. Not Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because Sonic 3 and Knuckles again just starts out on Angel Island Act 1, completely context devoid. But if you pop in Sonic and Knuckles and choose the Knuckles campaign, he actually gets a little intro cutscene explaining his story for this game, which I think is really nifty. Because if you just start Sonic and Knuckles as Sonic, you, again, don't get any context. He just is in Mushroom Hill Zone, and that's it. Like, you're really supposed to take it as a sequel to Sonic and 3. Like, how did he get to Mushroom Hill Zone? Well, he was on the launch pad. Like, the manual just told you how he got there. The blast rocketed him into Mushroom Hill Zone. But Knuckles actually gets a little bit of setup. Which I will show after we beat the game normally, at least. Oh, fuck that up.